Disrupt Education. We're here with Liam Sundling.
How's it going?
Thanks for being here, man.
Of course, of course.
All right, tell me your story. Where are you at?
So right now, it's kind of not like you're the most people that you get in on here, but out of high school, I graduated 2015. I went into a four-year institution. So August 2015, my mom, dad, and I packed up my dad's pickup truck and drove 16 hours to the University of New Hampshire.
16 hours?
Yeah.
That's out? Wow.
Yeah, it's
I thought it would be shorter.
Nah.
You drove faster.
Maybe. But yeah, so I'm there and I knew what I wanted to do. I am studying environmental engineering.
Right.
And they have, I got one of the, at least what I think, one of the best programs in the nation. It's amazing out there. But yeah, so that's really where I'm at. I'm a junior. I'm studying, I'm in fraternity, and the biggest thing out there that I've learned is like the culture shock was so different.
Yeah. Is it East Coast versus Midwest?
It's not even that, but like I know Oak Park and River Forest as a whole, like we're very same thoughts. We think about similar things on really everything. But out there, like and this is kind of really bad, but like I didn't realize people were actually Republican. Like some of my best friends have completely different viewpoints than I do.
Yeah.
And that's something that I think is just amazing. You really need to learn, and I broadened my horizon so much because of that. Yeah.
So how did you then, coming from like you knew exactly what you were going to go into, how did you find that out?
Honestly, what I think it's high school did me really good. I think at least especially in the last couple of years. Junior and senior year was amazing to me. What I did was I took a lot of, we actually have a really good engineering program here with Ryan Van Horst. This is really the only one I really know of, but yeah, there's a bunch of PLTW courses that are given here, and I took, starting sophomore year, I took at least a semester, and that really showed me that this is what I love to do. And also, my dad, he's a mechanical engineer, so I've grown up with the engineering mindset my whole life, and I feel like I'm really good at problem solving. And then the environmental part of it, it was I really care about the world itself. I want my impact of my life to be, I want to have a world where my great-grandkids, my great-great-great-grandkids will be able to have what I have, and hopefully better. That's
honorable. That's very cool. My question then with engineering, math. Tell me about that. Is it a struggle for you? Is it?
So the math part of engineering, it's, yes, I've been taking math courses since I started there. And I've always been good at math. Math and science were my strong suits. But what my professors have taught me a lot at school, one of them especially Jim Malley, amazing professor, my favorite in my institution, is numbers can be taught to monkeys. You can have a monkey calculate anything, or they have equations and they have computers that can do all the math. So that's not really what you're learning. You're using the impacts and learning and using what you've learned in your classes and just for people's sake to fix a problem. And this is just engineering in general. In my instant, it's taking problems that say a company was disposing their toxic waste in that would harm the environment. Our jobs as environmental engineers will be to go into that area where they are where that waste was put, and remediate the ground, take out all the soil that we think is harmed, and you go in our labs, and this is the math part, where you go in the labs and you test it and you try to figure out how we're going to fix the problem, and also looking at the ground soil and the groundwater into that, so making the environment around it to have it just stop. Like,
so you're actually seeing the calculation, like physically.
Yeah.
That's cool. It's almost authenticating math. before you were good at math, just kind of in a high school sense, and now you're actually, it's applicable. Do you feel like you know it even better being applicable, or is
well, I mean, again, I don't go to a job site and see all these numbers.
Sure.
But no, it's definitely the real world aspect of it that I love, and hearing people's problems and hearing what an impact. I mean, Flint, Michigan, the water there, and right outside my university is this place called Pease Airfield, I think, and they used to be a military airfield, and they used to have this chemical PFOS that was in the groundwater, and that was making a reaction of the people that live there now.
Wow.
And some mothers came in to one of our classes, and that were starting this kind of revolution of getting these like government officials to actually test for this chemical in them, and it's just hearing them like try so hard because this is happening to them, and it's happening to many people around the world.
Personalized.
Yeah.
That's very cool. That's amazing. You're doing like you have a mission. I mean, that's very cool.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people your age don't have that.
Oh, yeah.
They are still searching. So then let's go back then into your first year of college.
Okay.
A struggle, right?
I mean, it was different. Obviously, I'm 16 hours away from home. If I remember correctly, I am the only person from OPRF to go to University of New Hampshire for more than a semester.
Wow. Okay. So you win.
So yeah, I win.
You win. So what would it be like? So you're a junior now, going through your last couple of years. You struggled some semesters, and if you could go back and say, Liam, talking to yourself as a 16-year-old, what would you prepare him for?
What I've learned a lot, especially in these last couple semesters, is I am not going to let a grade or a letter grade define who I am. People think, I'm not trying to brag or anything, but people think engineers is very hard, and they're usually very smart. And they think, oh, they're nerds, straight A's, everything. Not even close to that. I haven't failed anything, but
that's good to know.
Yeah, so even though I do bad in some courses, I'm not going to bring me down, think, oh, I'm stupid, I'm not going to do well in life after this, because I know that, like, it's not a necessity for me to be good at everything.
Right.
And that's the biggest thing that I feel like I could tell my old self is, like, even in high school I wasn't a straight A student, but like as long as like you try your best and answer to yourself, because that's really who you have to answer to.
Right.
That you can fall asleep thinking I did well today, then you're going well. Then you're doing well.
That's a good way to put it. I like that when you can go to bed at night and understand, like, you, man, I did a lot today. So going back to systematic-wise in the high school, you really picked up on science, math, and so would there be a change in the high school system to maybe create a better path for you?
Yeah, I definitely think so. Obviously, since I am in college and I've been loving it, I think high school should take over some of the things that obviously you teach in college, whereas like the first 2 years you're trying to you're taking gen eds everywhere.
Right.
Like I took a history of animals. I took a history of beer. I learned. I didn't. Sadly,
I officially took that.
Yeah. Sadly, I didn't get to taste any, but I learned all about this, and obviously it was very interesting, but obviously not what I wanted to do.
Right.
And for other students, obviously not myself, because I knew from an early age what I wanted to do, that could be very helpful. Having these first 2 years, freshman, sophomore, getting a little taste of everything, and then junior, senior, going into what you want to do, and really taking those courses.
Okay, in a high school level.
Yeah.
So then you wouldn't feel like you're waiting to get into, you can almost go deeper into your major.
Yeah, I mean, and I know I was very lucky because OPRF, we have a very wide variety of courses.
Yeah.
that many other high schools don't. So we do have some of that, like we have many different languages or engineering that many other high schools don't. But if OPRF could go even more into, all right, learning what you want to do and then focusing on that, and not, obviously you're not going to stop taking English, you're not going to, but if it's not focused onto, you have to take 4 years of English every single, and keep going up higher and higher, whereas, all right, this kid loves science, get him in front of some sort of like biology or chemistry more times. That's really how kids thrive, I think.
Yeah, that's great. What's next for you, man?
Hopefully, well, I'm going to go and finish college, hopefully with the environmental engineering degree. Right out of college, I would love to work with the national EPA, get some experience where I don't need as much pay as I would later in life. And I know government jobs, they don't pay as well, but you get the benefits, which...
Right.
And then I do want to go back and get my master's. Hopefully have a company help me pay for it. Just because I could go my whole life with just my bachelor's degree and I could be fine. Right. But I feel to make it a real big impact, which I want to do, the master's just helps so much, and it makes your options so much wider. And then eventually dream job is to own my own environmental engineering firm. With my dad, he owns his own construction company, so I was born and raised with being your own boss, and obviously that's the hardest thing to do, but it's also the best thing to do. Right.
Awesome, man. Well, I appreciate you, man. That story is awesome.
Thank you.
We'll be looking for you out there.
Hopefully.
EPA, hire this guy, let's go. Appreciate it. You're disrupting in your own way, and hopefully you disrupt some of the bad things that are happening in the environment, man.
I hope so.
You're passionate. So look out for this guy. Liam Sundling, thank you. Next time, Disrupt Education, guys. Let's keep disrupting. We'll see you.